All right, this is Super Eliminator, but we are wrapping up Super Eliminator. And we're getting ready to run into Street Fighter. We're ready to cue them up, put them in the water. And from Street Fighter, we're going into Top Gas. All right, moving along with the program here and moving very well with the program here. Liska Racing Street ET to the lanes for pairing. You can get on down to one, and we'll get you paired up. All right, Street ET, you are not pairing. You have random pairings. Street ET to lane one, please. Nathan Wall and Roy Johnson next. All right, bikes are racing into the night and racing strong. We are in MPS Pro ET right now. Correction on that. Street Fighter right now. This is Rysco Street Fighter. Star Racing Top Gas is next. We are in Street Fighter right now. Star Power Top Gas is next. Street ET to lane one, please. Street ET to lane one.
Righty. Jean-Pierre Zimmerman headed back to Aruba by Jenny Jones. David Fondon from Bayamon, Puerto Rico. 950 to dial here. Strange lane on the racetrack. Nitrous fed KTM. 500 LC4. 1343, 61 miles an hour, comes out of there like a bat from down under. 080 reaction time. Has a 1:31 short time. Pablo Gonzalez on the strange lane. Has a single here. Number one qualifier with a 950 with a 9. 9.509. Pablo Gonzalez going to take the by run down there. On the Summit Racing side, up next, we will have Fittipaldi Peters from Bonaire. Summit Racing side of the racetrack. Street Fighter is the 950 index class. Got to be a street legal machine. Nick Noble of Central Louisiana, 18 years old, taking on the man from Bonaire. The 06 Hayabusa. Strange Engineering side of the racetrack, the number 18 qualifier, 968.9. Fittipaldi Peters, your number 12 qualifier, 960 with a 2. Racers separated by a tenth and then some. Fittipaldi Peters from Bonaire, thank you, sir, for coming all so far. Shame to see you go home to a 142 reaction time. 038 light for Nicholas Noble. 960 on the 950. A whole shot victory. Ronald Calorian from Aruba. 950 the dial. Index class of Street Fighter. 46 qualifier at 9.443 seconds. 38-year-old Aruban. The 08 Gixxer 1000. Bob Bird on the strange lane. The 06 Gixxer 1000 also. Bob Burt, the number 19 qualifier, 968.9, will be moving on. 977.6, 125.94. Rodney going to go back to the Aruba camp. Spins the tire off the line. Next pair, we have Elgin Donata, 25-year-old Aruban, number 56 qualifier, the 08 Busa Summit Racing side. Eugene Flanagan, also from Aruba, the number 29 qualifier, 9.880. Also, ladies and gentlemen, on the property, check your pockets. If you are missing your cell phone by chance, bring me someone that can call it. Or describe to me what it looks like. Describe to me what it is. There is a lock screen code. If you are missing a cell phone, it has a lock screen code. It is set in the French language. I myself am not fluent in French. If you are missing your cell phone, describe to me what it looks like. Tell me your lock screen code and we'll get it back to you. Eugene Flanagan winning over Elgin Donata down there. Stanley Russell from Gray, Georgia, 52-year-old on the 2011 Busa, looking for the 950 number. Benjamin Jones from Aruba, number 25 qualifier of 9.824. Stanley Russell with the win lights down there. Benjamin Jones dead late on the tree, a 314 light. 992 on the 950 for Stan Russell, 994 on the 950 for Ben Jones. The margin of victory at 10th and change. Raul Lopez from Aruba, 24-year-old on the 06 Busa Summit Racing side, the number 47 qualifier, 935.8. Michael Smith from Macon, Georgia, the strange lane occupant right now, number 20 qualifier, 9.774. 07 Hayabusa. Racers are separated by .155. Michael Smith having problems down there. All right, guys, looks like we got a little bit of cleanup going on down here. Motorcycle and Michael Smith. Here we got pieces parts down there. So we are going to be stopped for just a minute. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to say welcome and thank you so much for coming to the 43rd Annual Fuel Tech World Finals presented by Kibble White Precision Machine and Wiseco, the Manufacturer's Cup presented by Vance and Hines. So right in the middle of Wiseco Street Fighter, we're going to wrap this class up, and then we are going to move into, I believe, please, once again, Liska Racing Street ET. You guys should be in the staging lanes. We're going to be down for just a minute here. Wade Rich going to hop on the Zamboni down there. Otherwise known as the track scrubber, but this is what we call lovingly the Zamboni. A little bit of cleanup procedure going to happen here. Just want to give a shout out to everyone still with us on Motor Mania TV and also especially here at South Georgia Motorsports Park. And while it's quiet, this is a great time to pay the bills to Hawaii Racing, Falicon Crankshafts, APE, Shinko, Western Power Sports, Nitros Express, Growth of Drag Bikes, Star Racing, Schnitz Racing, Murdoch Racing Enterprises, the PR Factory Store, MTC Engineering, Worldwide Bearings, Wiseco Pistons, JE Pistons, D&G Chassis, MPS Racing, Liska Racing, Cycle Exchange, Dunnigan Racing, Exotic Cycle, Roaring Toys, DME Racing, Mickey Thompson, Fast by Gas, Manhill Garage, Kibble White Precision Machine, Cometic Gaskets, Daytona Sensors, Web Camshafts, McKinney Motorsports, Robinson Industries, Rob Bush Motorsports, and Monster Race Products. Thank you guys so much for supporting such a great season here in 2019. And we hope to see you guys back again in 2020. But we still got a race to run here. Still in the middle of Wiseco Street Fighter. Pablo Gonzalez was your number one qualifier today, all the way from Puerto Rico. The next pair out set to be Scott Thompson of Lafayette, Louisiana, 47-year-old, the 2012 Harley Davidson. And on the strange lane, it'll be the Razzle Dazzle himself, Dusty Brazzle from Norman Park, Georgia, just up the road, 35-year-old aboard the 2008 Kawasaki ZX-14. It's so good to see some of my guys still out there in the stands. How you guys feeling? Hope you guys are staying warm out there. We still have the concessions stand open. We're serving hot chocolate, hot coffee. Come get you some. I do believe we still have some food on tap as well. Looking down at the staging lanes, and we are still thoroughly packed. Also, guys, just a heads up, if you have a pit vehicle down there, make sure you keep it behind that yellow line down there. All of our equipment has to be able to move down there, and I'm sure Wade Rich is going to need some more of that here soon. So just make sure that you guys keep your pit vehicles out of the way down there. And as things are opening up here in the pit area, I need you guys to keep in mind that the pit road speed limit is still 15 miles an hour. Just keep it reasonable out there. Don't be speeding around. I know we're getting late in the evening here and everybody's getting antsy, but we still got a race to get through here. Okay, we have another cell phone. Somebody is pinging it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, attention in the pits. If you are trying to find your iPhone and you're a deer hunter, come to the tower, you're trying to find your cell phone, it is going off. If you are trying to find an iPhone, it has been put into emergency mode. We have it here in the tower. Of course, you have to describe to us what the phone looks like and what the lock screen is. We also need proof that you own the phone, that being either your lock screen passcode or the device you're trying to find it on. Also, I have another cell phone that is set in the French language. I have another iPhone that is pink in color with a case on it that is set in the French language. All right, I got an idea here. Jean Gosselin, can I borrow you for a second? Jean Gosselin, I need you to the tower real quick. I got an idea here. Got a little bit of cleanup procedure here, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to make sure that we do our best efforts here. Got a whole bunch of motorcycles back here in the staging lane still. Top gas still yet to be run. We are in the middle of Street Fighter. Street ET should be showing up here soon. Also, while we have a quiet moment, if you guys have a chance, head on down to the concession stand. We are still open down there. hot coffee and hot chocolate, several other warm things down there to keep yourself warm out there. I know the racers are staying leathered up. It is nice and chilly out there. Once again, John Gosselin. If I can borrow you real quick, John Gosselin, I need you in the tower real quick. Once again, attention in the pits. Team Aruba, check your pockets if you are missing your cell phone. Now, it's set in the French language and it's got a lock code. Adam Regan, you are needed in the tower. Mr. Adam Regan, you are needed in the tower. Once again, I need Team Aruba to check their pockets if you are missing your cell phone. I have it here in the tower. Team Aruba, check your pockets. I have a cell phone that could likely be one of yours. Also, real quick, Team Puerto Rico, check your pockets. I need everyone to check their pockets out there. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you are still here with us and you have family at home that would like to watch, I just want to say thank you for watching with us or being here with us at the 43rd Annual Fuel Tech World Finals, presented by Kibblewhite Precision Machine and Wiseco. Also, a huge thanks to McKinney Motorsports and Dunnigan Racing from Motormania TV for sponsoring the live feed and for getting them here this weekend. That means so much for this sport to get more involved, because that is exposure, ladies and gentlemen. All right, guys, be real careful. Check your pockets. I need everyone here to check their pockets right quick. Especially my teams from out of the country who are fluent in other languages. Please, please, please check your pockets. Pass the word on to everyone. But out on the track right now, you see a torch. A lot of times you have to use a torch to, in a combination with a substance on the track to remove a substance. A lot of times they'll use just a little bit of rubbing alcohol or a multitude of things to get the substance off of the racetrack. We see some different equipment we haven't really seen before this weekend. But Wade Rich going to work, working the magic with the South Georgia Motorsports Park crew to get this place back into shape so we can wind this up. But we have Star Racing Top Gas on tap here in the lanes. Then we have Liska Racing Street ET coming back around. I just want to take a moment and say, holy cow, what a turnout. Had 50 plus in Top Gas, probably 100 bikes in Street ET, 90 bikes in Super Comp, countless bikes in Pro ET. Pro ET, almost one of the most popular categories. You can get in there really with anything. It doesn't matter if you have wheelie bars or not. Pro ET allows delay boxes. Street ET, you got to have a hand clutch. We're seeing just a smorgasbord of motorcycles down there. I know Dusty Brazel is sticking true to that ZX14. I kind of picked on him earlier along with Dustin Lee. I said, you know, Dusty, the way you can get out of those 890s and get out of that plague is to get a Busa. Dusty said, nope, I'm not going to get a Hayabusa. Forget that. I'm not going to get a Hayabusa. But he said, oh, but there's that one time I raced that Turbo Busa. Ran like 806 and 180 miles an hour, and they blew it up on the dyno. So Dusty can't say he's never ridden a Hayabusa. But the Suzuki Hayabusa, more than likely the most bulletproof platform to go drag racing on in modern day. It's like the new KZ. It's when the Z1 came out in 1973. It was officially booted in 1972 in Japan. There were a few 72 models that made it out. If you have a 1972 Kawasaki Z1, my friend, you have a showpiece worth about $500,000. And then if you find a Z2, the Z2 750, that was the tariff bike, if you have one of those, even in rough shape, they still bring about $15,000. That is also a very neat showpiece. But since then, much before 1999, we were looking for new things to try, especially with the ZX7, ZX9, the GSXR 600, the GSXR 750. We were looking at the middleweights. And then Suzuki drops a bombshell right after Kawasaki unleashes design for the ZX12. It is a 1,327 cubic centimeter monster named the Hayabusa. Now, Suzuki had no idea, absolutely no idea, what the Hayabusa was going to do. So now that we look at the name Hayabusa, more than likely one of the greatest, if not the greatest, sport bike of all time. The ZX12R of the time in 1999 or 2000 had fallen short of what was at the time the factory speed record, or the factory speed battle between Kawasaki and Suzuki, Honda, Yamaha, everybody. The ZX12 was 4 miles an hour short of claiming the world's fastest production street bike. But then came out the Hayabusa. Had a top speed somewhere in the neighborhood of 204 miles an hour. And when you look at the word Hayabusa, there's a lot of meanings behind the word. I mean, you could look at the wrestler Hayabusa. I mean, obviously, that's not the meaning behind it. But the Hayabusa not only has become one of the most reliable platforms to go racing on, you look at several of the car tire drag bikes that have been built. One of them by a good friend of mine back in the Midwest, Kirk Reeves. 820 machine. Mild modifications to the engine. I mean, rods, pistons, camshafts, mild headwork. Runs 820 every lap. And to my knowledge, he's never had the motor apart. And then you take a look at the monster of Mark Rendeluck that he's put together with Chris Wedman. Got a Pete Brown chassis underneath it. Ran 6.33 today. 6:33. One of the personal best laps of all time for Mark Rendeluck. And on the topic of Suzuki, we go over to the GS side that's been around since the mid to late 1970s. You look at that platform, it is at the helm of a majority of the Falicon Pro Mod drag bikes. And these motors are capable of making between 5, 7, 800 horsepower, somewhere in there. And then we see Dan Wagner come up on the scene here about a year ago with a revolutionary drag bike that Terry Schweiger is campaigning. One of the first laps down this racetrack, it goes 6:19 at 218 miles an hour and sets a record in Nitro's Express Pro Open that still stands to the end of this year. We will have to wait until the 2020 season. I stand corrected. We might have to wait until just tomorrow to see that record fall. But if that record doesn't fall tomorrow, we'll have to wait until 2020. The first opportunity will be at Orlando Speed World to see that. To possibly see that 6.193 second elapsed time fall, record-wise. The speed record's still held by, you guessed it, the little gray motorcycle that we know and love as Tink Tink, that came out of the DME camp, Joseph Gladstone on board. That record close to falling today at the helm of Mr. Shane Epperjesse, running 221.83 miles an hour, almost 222. The 6:30 pass, 222 miles an hour, posted by Shane Epperjesse, is his personal best. Epperjesse been part of the Grothus camp since 2015 now. Great guys over there at Grothus Drag Bikes. We got great guys all over the place out here. If you get a chance to meet any of these racers, shake their hand and say, hey man, thanks for coming out, thanks for giving us a show, thanks for doing what you do, thanks for doing what you love. They will eat that stuff up, I'm telling you. And I know one guy down there, I haven't had a chance to pick on too much all day. It's Spencer Claycomb down there. That guy is freaking fast on his street bike. He holds the current real street record, 7.59 at 190.65. Keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, that is a street legal motorcycle, tagged, titled, and insured, working head and tail lamps as well as turn signals. That guy is a drag racing nut. There's a lot of drag racing nuts out here. I can name a few: Vance Howdy Shell, Dusty Bradsell, we have the guys from Aruba. I'm telling you, those guys are drag racing nuts too. They love this stuff. And some of these guys bracket race so much, I say, I'm getting tired of it, but I still love it. I just do it to go fast. And if I go rounds, I go rounds. That's really how they take it. So once again, if you're just joining us here at South Georgia Motorsports Park, either online on MotorManiaTV.com or actually here on the property, we're in a little bit of a cleanup phase right now. Had a problem with a motorcycle out there earlier. We're in the middle of Wiseco Pistons Street Fighter. This is the 950 index class. Same rules go as the real street guys, except you got an index, 950. You got to have a hand clutch, working head and tail lamps, working turn signals. Got to have a hand clutch. You can have the longest stretch that you want. You can run the lightest wheels that you want. You can use whatever power adders you want, should you need them. But 950 is the index. You want to get as close to that as you can without running under. PS Pro ET, I need you to the staging lanes. MPS Pro ET. I need you to the staging lanes, please. So, Nelson Hoyos working the drag out there. We got Wade Rich working a drag out there. We got the torch on the track still. Antifreeze is one of the worst liquids when it comes to effort taken to get it up off of a racetrack. This is all that goes into it. This makes motor oil look easy. Fuel and water, some of the easiest. Water is a little tough, especially when it comes down in a swath like we ran into last night. If it's just a little sprinkle that had come through, great. We'll get the water out of the cracks down there and get the water out of the joints, and we'll go down the racetrack here soon. But antifreeze and its chemical components are so hard on racetracks. Just small amounts will work not so good wonders on it. We see some of the DME camp still with us. Mr. Jason Dunnigan coming up to see what's going on up here. But we are doing our best effort to get this track back into shape here, ladies and gentlemen. Just bear with us. We will be going back to racing here soon. Now here's back on the topic of the Suzuki Hayabusa. We have so many of them here on the property. So many. It just goes, it should be a product testament to Suzuki just how many parts there are out there for these bikes. I mean, don't count the ZX14 out, but a reason why a lot of these guys don't run ZX14s is for the simple reason that the ZX14s, the way they were designed, the way the engines were designed, you could not separate the cylinders from the cases. The cylinders were part of the engine cases. So if you wanted to overbore, you had to figure out a way to send those engine cases off somewhere and get that figured out. And you can only go over so far. You can only overbore so far with those motors. But the Suzuki Hayabusa, a much more reliable piece. You can separate the cylinder head from the cylinders. You can overbore them so much further. There are so many more parts to go fast with out there. And it has been proven over time, let me tell you. A great friend of mine, Vincent Testa, I always try to bring this up, kind of as a shout out to the Busa. A lot of people say, Busas are a dime a dozen. They're all out there. Here's the thing, if you go up there and park 3 of these Hayabusas, just pick any 3 of them on the property out. Whether it be the Busas of the DME camp of Jason Dunnigan, you've got Dustin Lee out there, you've got several Hayabusas out there. Just pick any 3 of them and look at the parts in the frame rails. Check out the engine parts. Check out the electrical parts. Every single one of them is different. Everybody makes them their own in some kind of way. There might be a bone stock Busa in there that you pick out. Several of them here. A stock Busa with no modification. Off the showroom floor, where the seasoned rider can run in the 950s and 940s, the occasional 930s and 920s, with a DynoJet power commander, a swing arm, light wheels, and an exhaust system. Probably $4,000 to $5,000 of modification. You're looking at an 890, 880, or 870 bike, depending on how you ride it. Now, if you go all out balls to the wall, like the DME camp has with several of their Hayabusas, I always try to go back to the beloved Tink Tink on this one. 6.494, 225.03 miles an hour. Out of a bike that once sat out on a showroom floor in a Suzuki dealership somewhere in this good wide world. May have even had a life on the street. And this bike is going across a quarter mile in 6.5 seconds, accelerating to 225 miles an hour from a standstill in that amount of time. That is a race bike, my friend. So we should have everyone here for Top Gas. Everyone is in the house there. I need Liska Racing Street ET back to the lanes. We are going to also called Pro ET up here. MPS Pro ET, we need to get you up here. So, some of our Team Elite Octane members have come up here asking for photos with Mr. Regan. They've been taking photos all night. They're taking this opportunity. They're still having fun. A lot of our Elite Octane members are working with Ricky Gadsden. Gadsden, a former Kawasaki factory rider. I remember watching Ricky Gadsden come up when he was 18 or 20 years old, racing an AMA Pro Star on a Kawasaki ZX-12. Yeah, that's back when the ZX-12 was in Pro Street, and the Pro Street record at that time was held by Mr. Kent Stotts at 7:32, and we had yet to eclipse the 200-mile-an-hour barrier. We were stuck at 195, 196 for a long time. But then Kent got together with Bill Hahn of Hahn Racecraft, and there we went into the 200-mile-an-hour zone. It seemed like it was just 5 or 6 years ago that we saw the first run in the 6-second range. It was this time last year that we were struggling to get into the 650s. We saw Frankie Stotts post a 6.601 second elapsed time. And then it's like all of a sudden everybody just kind of appeared out of their rabbit holes. It was Jeremy Teasley into the 40s. Frankie Stotts went into the 40s. Frankie Stotts was the first in the 50s. Jeremy Teasley was the first in the 40s. Frankie Stotts soon followed suit. And then Jeremy Teasley shocked the world on his GSXR 1000 with a 6.38 second blast. We didn't think we'd see these bikes come so far so fast. But we said the same thing about Larry Spider-Man McBride, too. Here just a few short weeks ago in Darlington. 5.611 seconds, 263 miles an hour. And then here Thursday night, he does it again. Shocks the world and lowers the record by over a tenth. Takes it all the way down to 5.507. Increases the speed even more, 264. Almost 265 miles an hour. I was down in McBride's pit shortly before he had arrived, and as soon as he rolled up, he got off the bike, he looked at me, he said, "That was fast. You should have been me. That was fast." Our jaws were all down on the floor down there. George Bryce, his jaw was on the floor. Wayne and Donna Pingle had their jaws on the floor. We were all trying to collect ourselves here. So while we have these guys up here, Team Elite Octane, this is Amit Shamir, I believe. Good to see you. Good to see you. Now, how does it feel racing with Ricky Gadsden, Team Elite Octane? How do you feel you guys did this weekend here at the Manufacturers Cup?
We did have a really good weekend here. Compared to what we did last year, we improved a lot. All thanks to Ricky, and he's always there looking out for us, and we are still learning. It's a big game. You learn something, you lose something, but that's just part of it, and Ricky's always there supporting us. That's the best part of it, and we really thank all you guys for having us here. It's really fun being here and getting to know so many people. You know, it's really great. We're really looking forward to come in next year and do whatever we could.
Yeah, it's always good to hear that you guys are already planning on coming next year. This is Team Elite Octane all the way from India, racing with Ricky Gatson. Now, Ricky Gatson has a thick racing background. Like I said, I remember when I was a kid, 6 or 7 years old, watching Ricky Gatson race. And I have heard stories of Ricky Gatson sneaking into races, saying he was of age on his tech card when he really wasn't. But tell me how you feel you did this performance. You guys did really well. You were cutting good lines. Sonu was cutting great lines. Everybody was having a great time, and I think that's what it's all about. Tell me, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much fun would you say you had this weekend here in the United States?
Well, the scale is like pretty too long. I think it's way about 10. That's the amount of fun we had because it was a great weekend.
Oh yeah, always. It's always great to see you guys here. I love the diversity. That's why we call it the World Finals, because everybody from across the world is here, including, we have the ABC Islands. I don't know if you guys had heard this. We have Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao, the little 3 islands just north of Venezuela. But it's always awesome to have some Indian representation, some people east or south of Europe here, because this is what it's all about. This is what drag racing is all about. No matter where we're from, we're always a family. So thank you for coming, guys. We'll see you next year, hopefully before the World Finals, because I'm telling you, this is a great place to race. I'm sure you guys will be back soon.
Sure thing. Really look forward for that.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it too. Thank you so much for coming, guys. I appreciate it so much. Oh, thank you so much. I'm getting congratulated for my engagement here by Sonu Sandeep Soki. It's always nice to get that congratulatory. I mean, I'm really humbled about it. But Rachel, if you're listening from home, my fiance is actually watching the live stream right now, and I'm getting congratulated all the way from India for our marriage. So I am. Thank you so much for that. I'm really flattered. Thank you. We'll see you guys next year. Okay? It's always good to see diversity. We have guys from all across the world here, and that is just living proof. Now my counterpart Tom getting some camera time here with Team Elite Octane. So that's one way to keep track of your boarding pass. Just put it right there. There you go. Oh man, thank you so much. Oh, that's just a T-shirt.
Boarding pass.
I thought it was an actual boarding pass. It's just a T-shirt that says. Okay, I had to look at it closer. NYC from London. It says travel addiction. I'm definitely addicted. I'm telling you. So, ladies and gentlemen, while we've got the downtime, thank you so much for coming to the 43rd Annual Fuel Tech World Finals. From the bottom of our hearts, all of us here at South Georgia Motorsports Park. There's me right there. Okay, I sent a friend request. There we go. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 43rd Annual Fuel Tech World Finals, where track prep is underway. We are almost done here. Wade Rich laying down the spray now. But we are almost set to go here. Please bear with us.
Now, keeping you updated on what's happening out here. We've had some decorations of the racetrack issues out there that had to be addressed, and that is being done. They are almost finished with the grooming out there, checking the timing blocks, etc. So right now there is grooming going on out on the racetrack, but we are getting into the latter stages of that cleanup. Also, the timing blocks are being adjusted out by the 330, so they're taking care of that. And a spray is in effect right now. So they're laying down the sticky compound from the 330 on into the starting line, and as soon as they're done with their grooming, we'll get back to action. Okay, a full spray is in effect right now. They're taking that spray all the way down past the scoreboards, doing a full spray in the entire 1320. And once they bring that back, we'll watch for the equipment. As soon as they begin parking the equipment, we'll call everybody to their bikes.
So, ladies and gentlemen, Wade Rich laying down, as I said earlier. I think I'm going to stick to this one for a while. The magic spray. Sure looks like it's glitter down there, coming out of those nozzles. We are going back to racing here within the next 5 minutes. Wade laying down a full pass down there. Another time around. And I'm telling you, this guy, he has some of the strangest techniques. They are definitely proven. You know, I saw a crew shirt down here at South Georgia Motorsports Park. I was actually watching this race online. It was a lights out race. The announcer had kind of commentated on something because the cars were taking flight down here, and he said South Georgia Motorsports Park, home of the flying cars, and it is on one of the crew shirts down here. And I'm telling you, we have seen bikes fly down here too. Don't count that out. We have captured moments of motorcycles completely off the ground, not by just a matter of inches. We have seen motorcycles upside down in the air. We have seen motorcycles with the front wheel in the air 2 feet off the ground at the 1,000-foot cone. And not to mention, this track is so sticky. So sticky that some of these slicks are running into issues. This track is so sticky down there in some spots that it is ripping the tread off of some of these slicks. And then we saw a racer fall victim to the human flypaper of South Georgia Motorsports Park's starting line, ripping the soles off of his boots. I've seen that happen before, but never here at South Georgia Motorsports Park, but there's a first time for everything. And I'll put it to you the humorous way. We are counting. We count how many shoes fall victim. That was the count from probably the duck race, honestly. That's probably the count from the duck race, but in white glass chalk, up here in the tower, you'll see 10 tally marks. They do count how many shoes get ripped off feet at this racetrack. And they are not ashamed of that. And it's all thanks to that man right there, Wade Rich, working that sprayer. We're just making sure everything's okay down there. That way, we know all of that fluid is picked up. Right now, it's just a matter of moments before we get back to racing. We see some men back in the staging lanes getting their lids on, putting their hats on, getting them pointed the right direction, and getting ready to go racing. So attention in the pits and in the staging lanes. Fresh coffee at the concession stand. Hot off the warmer. Fresh out of the brewer. So here comes the sprayer of Mr. Rich, going to park that thing. All of our racers going to get lidded up again. I know a lot of my guys staying in their leathers down there. It's pretty chilly out there. Also, a big shout and massive props to all of my spectators still here on the property. Man, you guys are troopers through this cold. I know down here in Georgia, you guys have to be freezing your butts off. Up where I'm from in the Midwest, this is about normal for a high temperature this time of year. But you know, Kansas is about just as unpredictable as Top Fuel Motorcycle. One day it'll be 70 degrees and the next it'll be 15 below and snowing, snow drifts 6 feet high up against the front door. And yeah, Kansas is a state that one day it can go from tornadoes to a raging ice storm. The next, it's nuts. So, here we are. Dusty Brazel is setting back up. Norman Park, Georgia native, 35-year-old on the 08 Kawasaki ZX14, and oh, that is a sweet sound. We have motorcycles running on the racetrack. Lafayette, Louisiana native Scott Tomsa. The 2012 Harley-Davidson is your number 35 qualifier. 10:15 was his best effort for the 950 index. All right, Scott Tomsa, Summit Racing side, and Dusty Brazel on the strange lane. Racers separated by 008 on the Christmas tree. 10:16, 108 miles an hour for Dusty Brazel. Scott Tomsa from Lafayette, Louisiana will pack up. Barry Purnell on the Summit Racing side, Henderson, North Carolina, 48-year-old native. Wade over there on the strange lane, Dudley, Georgia native. Had to push start his motorcycle. Number 9 qualifier Barry Purnell on the Kawasaki ZX12. Summit Racing side of the track. Got Wade from Dudley, Georgia, the 07 GSXR 600. Looking for a 950 down there as well. The Street Fighter Index class. Racers separated by 024 down there. Both of them start with a 1 though. It's going to be a 992, 121 miles an hour for Wade down there, strange side of the racetrack. The number 21 qualifier will be taking out and upsetting the number 9 qualifier. 9.567 of Barry Purnell will end his weekend. Summit Racing side, we have Mark Frick, who is supposed to be here, but unfortunately crashed that gorgeous 2017 Road King earlier today. Dustin Lee from Morristown, Tennessee. The 038 reaction time gets away. Mark Frick, an unfortunate wreck. Man, that broke our hearts and had our stomachs in our throats. 942 on the 950, a 108 mile an hour trap speed down there. Here comes Spook Markham from Bowling Green, Kentucky. 950. The index. All right, and up next we'll be rolling into Star Racing Top Gas. $79 like for Spook Markham, Bowling Green, Kentucky. And ladies and gentlemen, attention in the pits. 951.6 on 950 for Spook Markham down there. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my unfortunate duty to report that the dew point has been matched by the air temperature. We are done for the night. Ladies and gentlemen, we are done for the night because the dew point has gotten to be the air temperature. For safety reasons, per Jay Regan and Nelson Hoyos, we are going to be done for the night. We will resume tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock a.m. So, ladies and gentlemen, want to say thank you from the bottom of our hearts for another great day of racing here at the 43rd Annual Fuel Tech World Finals, presented by Kibblewhite Precision Machine and Wiseco. Thank you so dearly for coming this weekend.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you heard the word from the bird. That's it. All right, that's all for today. You heard the particulars. Tomorrow's another day. Tomorrow will be a safer day. I will see you in the morning. Thank you.